Hi, I'm Nana Kagga, and I am the Black Phoenix. Today I want to talk about the choices we make in life. You are raised as a woman to be either or. You can't be everything. So you must make a choice. Must you become a wife and mother, or do you go the route of having a career and not getting married? And if you even get that career, leaving it, making the choices to leave behind the things that make you unhappy or unsatisfied. And how do you deal with the fallout from your loved ones and people that want the best for you? So I'll give you an example about my life. I have been married twice. My first husband passed away, God rest his soul. So I became a widow at a very early stage in my life. Now, when you lose someone you love so early, in our culture, African culture, we're told that being a widow is a bit of a curse and no other man will want you. You know, your blessings are limited. So there's a lot to deal with. So when society sees you that way, when you lose your husband and you're considered not to be a great prospect for someone else, it takes away from you. So as women, we start to question ourselves. We start to think, nobody will want me, especially if you have kids in the equation and you are like raising that child as a single woman and everyone around you is saying, Naya, you should get married, settle for anyone who wants you. The other bit is, God forbid, you should find someone and then they want you to give your child away. Give them to your family because they want you to come into a relationship without any baggage. So one needs to figure out how to survive that. And when I say survive that, how to figure out to silence the voices you hear outside and still be a whole person. You have to believe that you as a person have value, you have worth. I want to reiterate that you have worth. You're not just a woman who lost her husband or failed at a relationship. You have worth. All of us are made as individuals, as women with our different blessings, and every single person is imperfectly perfect. So I want to talk about that stigmatization. Please do not buy into it. And don't let anyone ever tell you that it's easy, that you leave and everything is great, that you go out there and what do they say these days? You become YOLO. You do things your way. It's a life of questioning. And you question those choices and you have to live with them and you have to hear the judgment and the noise and everyone saying you should have stuck it out. But the way I've survived all of that I've talked about is I have had to learn who I am and to accept the things that make me who I am and not rush into anything and accept them. In fact, sometimes our weaknesses are our strengths. I am not built to, I will say personally, I'm not built to sacrifice myself to someone else's dreams or someone else's way of life, or rather to be in a place where I must constantly dim my light or my shine and let someone else shine. Because as young women, especially Baganda women, we are raised to always put your husband first, to always put everyone else first, even if it's just your in-laws. So I have learned that at a certain point, you must now learn to be selfish. You must unlearn to be unselfish, to focus on the things that make you happy. It's never easy because anything that comes in life that is worth having is never easy. There are days when I question myself and my choices and I will beat myself up and I will cry and depression sets in and I let the voices in. But I get up every morning and I say to myself, you are who you are because God made you this way. Any other way would make you less of yourself. I just wanted to make this small video so that people can understand that when you make choices, there's consequences. But sometimes with those consequences, there's liberation and there's freedom. And that we are all on a journey, and that journey should never be mapped out. It should never have an itinerary. You must do what you must do at that point in time. Because actually, the other day I came across a saying. It said, the gods envy us. They envy us because we're mortal, because every moment we might be our last, because we are doomed. Because we'll never be here again. and we'll never be as beautiful as we are at this moment. And that in itself validates a lot of choices that I have made. But also, it helps me be happy. It helps me stay young. It helps me to laugh and surround myself with nothing but goodness. That doesn't mean evil doesn't come in. It doesn't mean that the negative bits never rise. But I always say, laugh, laugh a lot, love, and you live. And I don't know, when our purpose here is done, your choices must be yours and your failures must be yours. So I hope that helped. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again next week.